Well, obviously growing up in Ireland, it was well documented the troubles that we had and the problems that we were facing. But it takes me coming over to Liverpool and having come to this part of England to see the struggles of knife crime and the effects of violence that it's having in the city as a whole, you know. It's crazy to see, and especially with the Knife Angel coming over, I'm very excited to see some public response.
In November 2018, the Knife Angel was unveiled at the Liverpool Cathedral to the people of Merseyside. The sculpture stands 27 feet tall and was created using over 100,000 knives seized in police amnesties. The aim of the angel is to bring awareness to the devastating effects of knife crime, as well as remembering those who have fallen victim due to the actions of a blade. The public gathered at the cathedral to witness the installation of the figure, where amongst the crowds was artist Alfie Bradley, the creator of the monument.
Look at the amount of knives on there that were used and confiscated off the police. You realise the amount that are out there, but also the damage it's caused to families. So it's only going to give a positive message.
So is this your most important piece to date?
Yeah.
The monument was created at the British Ironworks Centre in Shropshire. Chairman and founder Clive Knowles has constantly supported the angel, publicly campaigning to have the sculpture displayed in Trafalgar Square in London.
It was originally created and intended and even designed for the fourth plinth in Trafalgar Square. Unfortunately, the Mayor of London has sort of pushed back and said that it doesn't reflect Britain in the right light. But actually, we believe that it's actually, rather than avoiding our problems, our national problems, it's confronting them.
But London Mayor Sadiq Khan rejected the plans, saying the fourth plinth was reserved for contemporary works of art that have been specially commissioned and selected by the fourth plinth commissioning group. The monument was refused despite a petition being signed by 35,000 people and support from police chiefs from around the country. Conservative MP Boris Johnson is the latest high-profile figure to back the campaign, after meeting with Clive Knowles and uniting against the decision from Sadiq Khan. Whilst at the unveiling, I witnessed up close and personal the size of the blades used to create the figure. It did hit home to me personally, considering that some of the knives included were actually used in an attack. But what did someone who has been directly impacted by knife crime think of the monument? At the reveal of the sculpture, I spoke to Tony Lappin, who was there to voice her support for the campaign after losing her 16-year-old son to a knife attack over a decade ago.
And what do you think of the sculpture?
I think it's fantastic. I saw it maybe 2 years ago. I went down to Alfie's workshop where he was working on it. We've engraved my son's name and a little message on one of the knives on the wings at the back, and I thought it was fantastic when we saw it there. I was blown over to see it here outside the cathedral. It just looks amazing. When I was in Alfie's workshop, he had big buckets of knives all over his workshop that had come through from police amnesties across the country, and some of the knives were horrendous. You wonder why they've even been created. There can't possibly be any genuine use for them. So I knew the scale of it and the number of knives involved from when I was down at the workshop. But it's mind-blowing, absolutely mind-blowing.
The loss of Tony's son resulted in a renewed effort to tackle knife crime from the city, with one such initiative including nurse clinicians travelling to schools to speak about the potential life-taking act of using knives. During these visits, pupils were shown real images of knife attacks, which occurred in Liverpool, just like the one shown here. Knife crime in Merseyside has risen significantly after a year of horrific fatal stabbings. Reports of knife crime increased by nearly a third. Figures also show crime rose nearly 10% across the whole of Merseyside in 2018. Many of the attacks shown in these images occurred during a night out in the city. But just how dangerous is Liverpool's nightlife? Liverpool hosts a famous nightlife where every weekend thousands of people flock to the city centre to drink, dance and have fun. It's no secret of the trouble which has occurred in hotspots such as Matthew Street, home to the Beatles, and Concert Square, Liverpool's main student attraction. To gain a real insight into Merseyside's club scene, I spoke to Rob, not his real name, a former head doorman who worked as a bouncer on some of Liverpool's busiest venues. He wished to remain anonymous due to the nature of the content he was discussing.
I've experienced somebody in the street who's come to me from the corner to say that he's been stabbed, asking me for help. I believe this was I was trying to buy drugs from the local city centre kids. This man had a hole in his back and it was real. He looked like he was losing his life.
I couldn't believe some of the lengths people would go to try and sneak a blade into a venue. Rob discussed a new tactic doormen are challenged with on a night out.
We've got the credit card knives. That's quite an obscure one. Also quite a common one these days. What that basically is a small fixed blade which is shaped like a credit card. Once folded out, becomes a blade.
It's quite mind-boggling when you think about it. It is quite shocking how easy it is to obtain a knife. I mean, just from a quick Google search, and there's so many available, readily available to the public, and it'll be there within days. So for anybody that's looking to carry, for less than a tenner, you could be in possession of a weapon that could potentially ruin someone's life, if not your own.
So, with criminals finding more and more new ways to carry weapons, I felt I needed to discover what police are doing to help combat the issue. It's no secret that the UK's policing service has suffered tremendously due to cuts, and therefore Merseyside Police is no exception. The number of police officers in England and Wales has fallen by over 20,000 people between March 2010 and March 2018. Since 2010 in Merseyside, the total policing workforce decreased from 7,350 people to just 5,522. Police officers decreased from 4,588 to 3,457. So far there has been 83 million in cuts made, with a further 18 million expected to be made in the next 4 years. Merseyside Police Chief Andy Cook spoke at John Moores University about the impact of the cuts to the service.
Obviously you take 25% out of any workforce and it means big differences. So my officers and my staff work hard on a daily basis to keep people safe. We do it very well, but crime is increasing, the number of calls into policing is increasing, and staff can only do so much in one day. So it will have an impact upon the staff.
Former Chief Sir John Murphy now works as a professor at the university and also gave his insight as to why knife crime is such a growing problem.
One thing I should mention, which is a real challenge with knives, is when there was a lot of focus on gun crime, it's illegal to have a gun. Nobody can have a handgun in this country legally, so consequently there are very few in the country. Yes, some are smuggled into the country through the ports and on aeroplanes and in the post, but there are few of them. Every house has got a knife in the kitchen. You can go into many shops and buy one. So that option of removing weapons from the streets that was there for guns is not there for knives. I think some young people will carry knives because they think they need to. I think that's misplaced fear. They just need to change their lifestyle and not hang around with the people that they do in the places they do, rather than carry a knife. So I think that's something that people who are caught say. I think young people who are interviewed big themselves up by saying, I'm carrying a knife to protect myself, man. I think a lot of that is nonsense, frankly. There are, if you want to stay away from knife crime, and I know it's easy for me to say I don't live on some of these difficult estates, but there are ways you can protect yourself from the threat of knife crime without carrying a knife yourself.
It's now reached the end of January 2019 and the Knife Angel stay at the Liverpool Cathedral has ended. I decided to visit the cathedral to watch the Knife Angel spread its wings and leave the city. I spoke to Rob Jackson, who helped organise the move and contributes massively to moving the Knife Angel from city to city. I asked him what was next for the Angel.
There's a lorry coming over from Hull in the morning, and it's going to be craned onto the lorry and then transported to Hull. It'll be in storage in Hull and then getting installed on Monday in Hull. It's going to be there for a month, and then from Hull it looks like it's going to go to Coventry for 2 months, and then we're still working on where it goes next. Possibly, we're still hoping to get it to London, and then we'll see what the rest of the journey for the Angel looks like after that.
As my time in Liverpool nears to an end, I find myself reflecting about today's culture of carrying knives. After attending campaigns, monuments, speaking to those directly impacted, as well as the police and those working within the city, it's hard for me to see an immediate stop to the violence in the near future. However, campaigns such as the Knife Angel, initiatives from the police, and support shown from prominent MPs give the city hope that there can be a change, and that knife crime statistics can become a distant association to the people of Merseyside.